Liverpool-Union St Gilloise starting lineup. Looking to bounce back from last weekend's controversial Premier League defeat, Liverpool welcome Union St Gilloise to Anfield on Thursday evening for a Europa League group stage clash. The Reds topped Group E after beating LASK Linz 3-1 in their first week encounter, while their Belgian counterparts drew 1-1 with Toulouse in their opening group fixture. Liverpool's 17-match unbeaten run in the Premier League came to a dramatic and controversial end on Saturday when they lost 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Luis Diaz's first half goal was wrongly disallowed by VAR for significant human error, just 10 minutes after Curtis Jones was controversially sent off for a late tackle following a VAR review. The Reds were reduced to 9 men midway through the second half when Diogo Jota was shown 2 yellow cards, but Joel Matip rubbed salt in Liverpool's wounds in the 96th minute when he headed Pedro Porro's cross into his own net. Jürgen Klopp vented his anger at the referees after the game, while Liverpool, who slipped to 4th in the league, issued a strong statement claiming that sporting integrity has suffered and that they intend to explore various options to resolve the issue. Amid the ongoing VAR controversy in the Premier League, Liverpool will be looking to turn the tables when they resume their Europa League group stage campaign for the first time against Union St Gilloise on Thursday and would certainly welcome a return to Anfield in midweek. Indeed, the Reds have won 15 of their last 21 home Europa League games and each of their last 7 group stage matches in the UEFA competition, while losing just one of their previous 15 encounters with Belgian sides. Union St Gilloise, competing in the Europa League group stage for the second consecutive season, managed to salvage a point at home in their opening Group E match against Toulouse 2 weeks ago. In their first Europa League campaign in 2022-23, Union St Gilloise finished top of their group to reach the quarter-finals, but finishing above Liverpool in Group E this term looks difficult, so second place ahead of Toulouse and LASK Linz is a realistic target for Blesson and his team. Les Unionists will go into Thursday's clash looking to become the first Belgian side to go unbeaten away to Liverpool and, given they didn't lose any of their 5 away games in the Europa League last season, they can go to Anfield with optimism. Liverpool striker Cody Gakpo is out for several weeks with a knee injury sustained after scoring a first-half goal against Spurs last week, while Thiago Alcantara and Stefan Bajcetic are also in the treatment room. Klopp is expected to rotate his starting 11, with Kevin Kelleher replacing Alisson Becker in goal, Joe Gomez and Kostas Tsimikas starting at stopper, while Trent Alexander-Arnold will start as a substitute after recently recovering from a hamstring problem. Darwin Núñez, who has contributed directly to 8 goals in as many Europa League games, is the most likely candidate to replace the injured Gakpo up front, while the likes of Jota, Ryan Gravenberch, Wataru Endo and Harvey Elliott will hope to break into the starting 11 after starting as substitutes last weekend. Union St Gilloise's only injury concern is star striker Dennis Eckert-Iense, who has missed the last 4 games through injury and will be assessed ahead of Thursday's clash. The Spaniard has scored 7 goals in 8 games so far this season. With all this in mind, Liverpool's starting lineup is as follows: Kelleher in goal, Gomez at right back, Konate and Van Dijk in a stopper tandem, Tsimikas at left back, Elliott, Endo and Gravenberch in midfield, Salah on the right wing, Núñez in the middle and Jota on the left. Premier League player calls for VAR to be scrapped after Liverpool nonsense. The decision to wrongly cancel Diaz's excellent goal against Liverpool has sparked outrage and controversy in the football world. West Ham United striker Antonio has joined the debate. Speaking on the Football Podcast yesterday, the 33-year-old became the first player to publicly call for the technology to be scrapped since Saturday's incident. VAR should be thrown in the trash, Antonio said. That's my opinion. It's not the first time I've said it and it won't be the last. VAR was brought in because of the controversy after every game. There was a lot of human error happening, that's why we brought the technology, so there wouldn't be so many controversies. But if you look at the statistics, you see that the controversies are still going on. Now we have technology and there are still human errors. We've reached a stage where you have to accept that human errors are part of football and they make football better. People lose their heads about it, but at the end of the day referees are human and they can make mistakes. So people are trying to change it, but these changes don't make football better. That's why you can send VAR back, he said. There aren't many soccer players with the public platform Antonio has with his podcast. But still, it would be a surprise if he was the last one to make this opinion public. If fans are tired of not being able to properly celebrate for fear that a goal will be cancelled, then imagine how the players feel. Many players, like Diaz on Saturday, have had beautiful goals taken away from them completely unjustly. Of course, this is nothing new in soccer. As Antonio pointed out, goals have been wrongly cancelled throughout history. But at least in those days, they were often completely marginal misjudgments made in good faith. Thanks to technology, the threshold for publicly acceptable errors is much higher, if there is one. So when things inevitably go wrong, the authorities inadvertently create a bigger hump on their backs. Instead, the solution is surely to improve the technology or those who use it. But the abolition of VAR is a possibility that is being seriously considered. Jürgen Klopp has called Liverpool's 19-year-old wonderkid to first-team training ahead of tonight's game. The Reds trained in front of the cameras ahead of tonight's Europa League clash with Union St. Gilloise. Young left-back Luke Chambers has been called up by Jürgen Klopp. Chambers made his official debut in last week's Carabao Cup tie and will be hoping for more minutes at Anfield tonight. Meanwhile, first-team regulars Jarell Quansah and Ben Doak are also reportedly present, and both are likely to feature later in the game tonight. Notably absent was Bobby Clark, despite being one of the most important members of the U21 team this season. Given the state of the Liverpool squad, it would be a big surprise if Chambers starts tonight's game, because the Reds have a clear hierarchy at left-back for such situations. Kostas Tsimikas is good enough to start in the starting 11 of many Premier League teams and deserves to start whenever possible. Unless the Greek has an injury, and it is worth mentioning that he trained normally yesterday, then he will start. However, that doesn't mean Chambers won't start. The 19-year-old came on against Leicester and has been turning heads in the youth teams. Over the summer, it looked like this could earn him a loan move away from Anfield. Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen were rumoured to be interested in him, and it could have been an eye-catching transfer. But in the end, Chambers stayed put. He will need minutes if he is to reap the rewards of the talent that led him to be described as exceptional during his loan spell last year. With Tsimikas and Andy Robertson ahead of him, perhaps that won't happen at Liverpool. Still, Klopp is clearly a fan, and these short spells in and around the senior team can only do Chambers good. Liverpool's youngsters really do have a lot of potential, and that's exciting for the future. Jarell Quansah and Ben Doak in particular have started to get more minutes this season and have shown that they are really at first-team level. It is uncertain how much time they will get tonight depending on how the game goes, but Klopp certainly sees a good future for them.